In this video, we're going to talk about kits and bundles and how Shopify supports them with Katana. Kits and bundles are provided for a variety of different purposes. You can select a group of products that would be sold as a single unit, or you can provide bulk discounts based on people purchasing bundles. There are a lot of ways to use bundling for your business. One of the most common ways is bundling things together so you can sell it at a discount, but in order for you to net more. And the most simplified example of this to make it work with Shopify and Katana is if you create an individual product on your Shopify store. In our case, what we did was we created something called a coffee bundle. And inside of Katana, this coffee bundle consists of 3 products. So since Katana uses a feature called sub-assemblies, which allows you to take materials and products to put them inside of the recipes of each other, then you can use basically sub-assemblies in the same format with respect to bundles on Shopify. So the way that this would look is for our bundle item inside of Katana, if we have a coffee bundle, then its product recipe will consist of one unit of each size for the Brazilian coffee blend, as an example. And so when the customer orders this, the best way to do this as a bundle workflow in your Katana in the most simplified manner is to create a sales order on the Shopify side. And we will add the coffee bundle to this order. And then choose add like so. Collect payment, mark as paid. And then that order comes in. The best way to handle that order when it's sitting in your queue is to press the make to order button for it. Now, what's useful and handy about the make to order functionality when it comes to bundles is it actually just automatically consumes those items from your inventory as soon as the sales order is marked as fulfilled. So what you would need to do when you're dealing with bundles like this is as soon as the sales order comes in, then you'll want to select the line item if you've got a variety of different items inside of it and choose make to order directly from this screen. In this case, generate one MO if you have multiple levels of a sub-assembly. Hit create and close. And we just made one level. So that way, the linked manufacturing order will actually just be these 3 items like so. And as soon as the order is marked as fulfilled from your Shopify side or your Katana side, for example, then that order fulfillment sync will automatically consume the 3 items that make up the recipe for that coffee bundle. So that's one way to use bundles in your Shopify and Katana integration, mainly as a workaround. However, there are some disadvantages to that. When it comes to traditional kits and bundles, there can be some extreme challenges that you might face with respect to carrying bundles on your website. Sometimes, let's say you have that coffee bundle that we just listed. A lot of customers that we have want to know, okay, well, what are the possible outcomes? What's the minimum quantity of bundles I have in theoretical stock based on its components? So if you're selling these coffee bundles and those coffee bundles contain one of each of the different sizes, the 250, the 500 gram, and the 1 kilogram coffee packages, if the first one has 5 units in stock, the second one has 5 units in stock, and the third one has 3 units in stock, then in theory, all you have is 3 bundles available in stock. So actually, your bundle is limited by the component with the lowest volume of inventory that makes up the bundle of possible outcomes. So when it comes to dealing with bundles, one of those types of needs for Shopify customers is the ability to identify the theoretical stock of those to the customer, so that way you don't oversell them by accident. So if you have a situation like that you're worried about, our recommendation is to look into some of the Shopify App Store items, because they do have some kit and bundle apps that you can plug directly into your Shopify store to help facilitate that. Now, one thing that's very important to take note of is if you sell a combination of products and kits and bundles on your website, you need to make sure that you select an application that will not overwrite the stock quantities that Katana sends to your Shopify store if you're using the stock sync. And the reason why this is important is because many of the bundle and kit applications, what they do is they take full ownership of your stock level. So if you have items that are coming in from your website as sales orders, and you're pushing the new stock level from your Katana account back to your Shopify store, some of those bundle apps will actually overwrite the components that they took out, and you might have double decrements, or you might have certain types of overwriting that occurs, which actually messes up the true stock level on your Shopify store when your customers are going to buy. So just a couple of things to keep an eye out for. When it comes to other kits and bundle features, one of the most useful types is having an app that will create like an overlay product, which your customer can select. And then what it will do is it will deconstruct the bundle and add them as individual line items. So instead of having your sales order come over as a sales order that looks like bundle, which is one Shopify product, and using the Katana recipe to deconstruct it through a manufacturing process, instead you can define what components make up the bundle on your Shopify store. So anytime the customer selects that option, it will deconstruct it and add it as independent line items. So instead of your orders coming in looking like this on your Katana account, they can more so look like this, listed not as a manufacturing order, but as a sales order with 3 independent line items. The reason why this is much, much more useful is because, number one, it doesn't create a make-to-order process, which could fumble your manufacturing team, but instead it just makes an individual sales order, which will deduct the correct amount of quantity on your Katana account and then push the correct stock levels back to your Shopify store. So very many different ways to work with kits and bundles, depending on what it is that you're doing with them. Do keep in mind the combination of how those orders are processed, how they're created from your Shopify store through that app, if it interferes with your stock sync, or if you have to use recipes, for example, in order to facilitate the correct deduction of your inventory when those items are selected. So I hope that these little tips will help you in determining what works best for your needs, but that is a general overview of kits and bundles in Shopify.